done a lot of sitting at your desk, then what we're going to do is a really lovely practice for the spine. We're going to take care of our backs. But first of all, what we're going to do is just make sure you've got a strap today. A strap, if you haven't got a yoga strap like this, then don't worry too much. What you could have is a belt or a scarf. And we used that yesterday in chair yoga. So if you want to go off and grab that now, a belt, a scarf, just a big thick scarf or a yoga belt, but as I say, a belt or a scarf will do, and possibly a yoga block today or a cushion. So if you want to go and grab those, or if they're nearby, get them now. And also grab yourself some water as well, because although it's not very warm outside, we want to stay hydrated for the practice, okay? So without further ado, we're going to start seated, okay? So that's great, okay. So I'm going to sit on my block. Yeah, sorry about the quality today, yogis. It's lagging a little bit, so just bear with us. But we're going to sit cross-legged for the first pose. Cross-legged in easy pose, known as Sukhasana. So sitting tall on a cushion or a block, whatever you have to hand. And just a nice little bit of work into the neck, which is obviously attributed to how our spines can feel and connect as well. So a little bit work into the spine seated. So sitting tall, just take your hands to your knees and just take 5 slow breaths here, okay? So eyes can be open, but ideally closed. And just taking 5 slow breaths. Just allow yourself a moment to come into the space. Just taking 1 or 2 deep breaths here, yogis. Arriving in the space. One more deep breath. And then we're going to take our right hand out, just out to the side gently, and drop our right ear to our right shoulder. And we hold that for 4 deep breaths. So right ear to right shoulder. I've just walked my right hand out in alignment with the knee, feeling that stretch down the other side, looking forwards. Nice deep breathing. And then coming back slowly, and then walking the hand out to the opposite side, left ear to left shoulder. And again, just walking the hand as far as you comfortably can so that you're receiving the stretch down the opposite side of the neck. And we come back gently. Okay, brilliant. And then we'll stretch those legs out, give them a little shake. Okay, so we're going to lie down and do some work for our spines. So if you can remember to grab your belts or your scarf or your yoga belt if you've got one, and coming off your block or cushion, putting that to one side now. We're also going to do a little bit of abdominal work here as well, but let's lie down and just first start to stretch into the back here, into the backs of the legs, where if we've done a lot of sitting, we can get very tight in our hamstrings. So we're going to lie down, and so you can see me, I'm going to draw my right leg in and wrap my strap, my yoga belt, round the ball of the right foot, okay? That's the ball of the right foot. And then stretching that up towards the ceiling, holding it with both hands. And we take 5, okay? 5 deep breaths here. Hope you can all hear me. Volume should be good. My left leg is straight. Now, if you can't straighten this leg, yogis, don't worry. Bend the left knee if it's more comfortable. But otherwise, straightening the opposite leg. Flex the toes of both feet towards you. Keep them active. And take 5 nice deep breaths here. Doesn't matter if this leg isn't straight, but aiming to make it as straight as you comfortably can. breathing into the back of the leg. Nice deep breathing, yogis. Again, what the strap allows you to do is just pull very gently. It creates more work. We're working more deeply with the leg and activating here. Often we can feel quite tight here behind this hamstring, behind the knee joint rather. One more deep breath there, yogis. And then very, very gently hug the knee in, release the strap for a moment, and just draw that knee in and take 5, okay? So now I'm hugging the knee in, and again, taking 5 deep breaths, okay? Drawing the knee in, nice deep breathing. This is great for our hip flexors, and also remember the opposite leg is getting a lovely deep stretch. That's right. Nice deep breathing. And then let's release the leg down. So we're working both legs quite deeply here. Now we're going to do the opposite leg. So I'm going to hug my left knee in, wrap my strap around the ball of the left foot, and slowly start to straighten that leg. And the right leg is straight. Both of the toes, or all of the toes, flex towards you. Don't worry if you can't straighten the leg, yogis. It really doesn't matter too much. Just straightening the left leg as much as you comfortably can and gently pulling on that, okay? So the idea is I want to imagine that the sole of the foot is Velcroed to the ceiling. Toes towards me, pushing the ankle away, and again receiving this lovely deep stretch in the back of the leg and taking 3 more deep breaths. Do we notice, yogis, one side may be easier? Did you put the brightness up, love? Yeah. Nice deep breathing there. Take your time and notice again, this leg may feel quite different physically to the opposite leg. Nice deep breathing. And then very slowly start to bend the knee, release the belt carefully, yogis, and hug that knee into the chest. Again, taking 5 deep breaths. Just drawing that knee in nice and closely towards the chest. Also feeling that lovely stretch in the opposite thigh and the hip flexor here. And then we're going to exhale. Ooh, and just release the legs down. Good. And just give them a little shake, yogis. Just notice as you let the heels fall out, the legs feel longer and straighter. Lovely stretch to do. And now, yogis, we're going to use this again. So I'm going to lie down once more. And this time, I'm going to hug the right knee in again and wrap it around the ball of the right foot. Take it up again. So same position with the right leg. Left leg is straight. And this time, taking that right leg all the way out to the side as far as I can. And I can feel the opening here in my pelvis, in my hips. Again, just be very careful, just holding onto the strap as best you can. Nice deep even breaths. Really great way also to work the inner groin and the inner thigh. Holding onto the strap carefully with the right hand. Flex the toes of the right foot towards you and enjoy 2 or 3 more deep breaths there, yogis. This really does release tension in the low back, the inner groin, the spine, and the pelvic area. Don't forget to breathe and hold. Great work, okay. Let's slowly, slowly draw the right knee all the way back up. Bend the knee, release, and again, just hug that knee in. Oh, wonderful. Great way again, just to open up all this pelvic area that often gets really tight when we do lots of sitting, but also releasing energy in the hips, so flooding this part of the body, what we call in yoga the grand central station of the body, the pelvic area. Now, all I'm going to do is turn the other way so you can see me better, and we'll do the left leg, okay? So this time, yogis, I'm going to bend my left knee, wrap it around the ball of the left foot, straighten the leg again with my strap or whatever you've got to hand, scarf, and then straightening that right leg, holding on to, again, the strap or the rope or the belt, whatever you have, with your left hand, and gradually, slowly taking the left leg out to the side. Now the idea here is, again, to try and keep my opposite side, the right side, anchored into the floor. So if you find your right shoulder is tipping up, press the right hand into the floor, yogis. Keep the right side solid, anchored into the mat, and feel the stretch again. Doesn't matter how far you stretch that leg, just a great stretch for your hip flexor, your inner groin, the inner thigh, all the way down to the inner ankle you're stretching on the left side. Breathe and hold, yogis, for 1 or 2 more deep breaths if you can. Remembering not to strain. And we're going to bend the knee, raise the left leg nice and slowly, all the way back up, and then carefully bend the knee in, release the strap, and again, hug that knee in. Take a resting breath and release. Good work. And then just shake the legs out a little bit. Maybe just rock the pelvic area. Notice if this area, around the pelvic area, feels more energized and warm now. We've flooded this area, as I say, with a fresh supply of energy. So maybe you're noticing warm sensations in the hips. Just take a resting breath and observe this hip and pelvic area. See if you can notice any sensations there. Okay, yogis, so whilst we're here, I had this wonderful idea of doing something like some abdominal exercises. But before we do that, we're just going to work this outer buttock area, which is another area of the outer hip that tends to get tight and stiff. So it's called threading the needle, and all you need to do is bend your knees and bend the right knee and bring the right ankle to rest across the left thigh. Okay, can you see that? So right knee bent, carefully resting my right ankle on the fleshy part of my left thigh. So my right knee is bent. Now we're going to raise the left foot off the floor and interlace the fingers behind the left thigh. As best you can, holding onto the outside back of the left thigh. Now what I can do with my right elbow is push it gently into my inner right thigh to open up this area, okay, the right knee, and hopefully feeling a stretch in the outer right hip. Let's flex the toes towards us, push the right elbow gently into the inner right thigh, and just draw that left thigh as close as you can to you. Can you feel the stretch now, yogis? Outer right hip area, really, really working that area, quite isolated, but strong stretch. Let's hold for 3 breaths. Good, 1 more deep breath in and out. That's excellent. Now very, very carefully, let's place the left foot down, release the fingers. I want you to carefully hug the right knee into the chest and then stretch it up and down. And just rub the area of the hip. Notice if it feels a bit more open. Okay, we're going to do the other side. So let's bend both knees again. This is called threading the needle. We're going to bend that left knee carefully. We're going to take the left ankle, rest it just on the right thigh, fleshy part of the thigh, just below the knee ideally. And so our left knee is now bent. We're going to raise the right foot off the floor, interlace the fingers behind the right thigh, and press the left elbow gently into the inner left thigh. So now we're working the outer left hip. Flex all the toes towards you, yogis, and hold and breathe. Tuck the chin in, keep the back of the neck long, Aim to hold that for at least another 3 deep breaths. The more you draw the thigh in, the more you'll be activating the stretch in the outer left hip. So again, go gently if you're finding it strong. But this area, this outer buttock area and hip, that's the area we're really targeting. So breathe deep into the stretch. Many of us will find that tight, but go with it, stay with it for another breath if you can. Excellent, well done, yogis. And then we release the left foot to the floor. Carefully hug the left knee into the chest. Raise the leg up and release down. Good. And in fact, just keep both knees bent for a moment and just rocking from side to side like I'm doing. Knees are slightly apart. That's it, just rocking side to side to loosen the pelvis, soften the spine, and then hug the knees in, and again, just a little rock there. So I mentioned abdominals, didn't I? Some of you might have thought I'd forgotten, but whilst we're here, we're going to do a little bit of work in the abdominals, and then we'll come up. So what I'd like you to do is just the elbow to knee exercise, okay? So the first one, we hug the knees in, and we interlace the fingers behind the head, okay? So we make a pillow with our hands. And all I'm going to do is straighten my right leg. You see that? Straighten the right leg. I'm going to draw up, so raise the head, the neck, and bring my left elbow to the outside of the right knee. And then I'm going to alternate, straighten the left leg, elbow comes to the outside of the right knee. And I keep going. Elbow to knee, breathing in and breathing out. Now this is strong on the abdominals, so go slow. Alternate elbow to knee, nice and slowly. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale and exhale. That's it. Keep going. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's do 4 more. Oh my goodness. Stop if you need to, yogis. Inhale. Good. Exhale. Breathing in, that's it. Try and straighten one leg. 2 more. Oh my goodness, this is strong. We can all feel this. Last one. Inhale, exhale. Well done. Now, take the head down. Hug the knees in. Rock. Breathe. Brilliant, yogis. Well done. That was excellent. Now, have you got a little bit of energy to do some more? I'm sure you have. So again, just do as much or as little of this. If you find it too strong, you can just release. I want you to grab a cushion or a rolled up towel or the block, whatever you were using, and place that in between the legs. And then just to take extra care, cross the ankles over, okay? So I've used my yoga block, but if you've got a cushion, just using that, crossing the ankles over, and we're going to do a supported sit-up. So we're going to interlace the fingers behind our head again, make a pillow, and we're going to inhale, draw the elbows in, come up as high as you can, exhale and lower. We're going to do 10 slowly, breathing in and breathing out. Inhale with care, come up, keep supporting the back of the head, exhale and lower. These are really good for strengthening the abdominal core muscles and your spine, but safely because they're being done on your mat with the support of the floor. Okay, let's keep going. 5 more. Inhale, exhale. Keep going if you can. Stop if you need to. Nicely synchronize with the breath. So I breathe in here and I exhale. I'm going to do 2 more, yogis. And then we'll pause. Good. Last one if you can. Breathe in and out. Lovely work. Okay. So let's uncross. Cross the ankles over the opposite way, sorry. Knees are slightly bent. And we're just going to try that pulsing now, okay? So the same exercise, interlacing the fingers behind the head. Just take a nice deep breath in and out. Relax your abdominals. And then we're going to come up and try and keep the elbows open, and we pulse, pulse. pulse. Just little pulses. You probably find you've probably done nearly 20 already. We can do up to 50 if we can. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 20 to go, yogis. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just 10 to go if you wish to. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Can you feel that? And then release the block. Well done. Hug the knees in. Maybe make small circles now because this activates a massage for that low back. And we're still in our backs, still looking after our backs, but we're integrating it with some abdominal work. Small circles in the opposite direction now with your knees, just to alleviate the back. And again, just relax here. Well done. Okay, I'm going to roll over. And we're now going to do, we'll do some more abdominals in a moment, but we're just going to do a little bit more work for our spines. And what I'd like you to do is just come gently onto all fours, have a little sip of water if you need to, and we're going to do some cat-cows, okay? And this is lovely because we can really just gently stretch and increase the circulation in our back muscles, okay? So we're like a tabletop yogis, spreading the weight across the fingers and the hands, almost loading the palms as well. Arms are straight, knees hip width apart, and we'll just go with the flow of the breath. So we're going to exhale as we arch, often called angry cat. We're arching the spine, and we can pull those abdominal muscles in as well towards the spine gently to again activate the core. And as I inhale, I dip the spine and look forwards. And then I exhale and arch the spine. And I inhale and I dip. So what I'm doing is stretching all the back muscles in a very safe way, but I'm adding warmth and circulation. So I'm increasing the circulation. Inhale here. Exhaling here. Now I'm going pretty slowly. Do speed it up if you want to, or keep the movement slow. Exhale. Inhale. Let's do 5 more rounds slowly. So 1 breath in and out is a round. 1 round. So 4 more slowly. In your own time. Exhaling as I arch. Inhaling here. Just exploring that full range of motion that your spine can make. Once more slowly. And then sitting back very gently. Well done, yogis. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a downward facing dog. So very, very gently, downward dog. Spreading the fingers wide, tucking the toes under, and up we go. Up we go ever so gently and slowly into downward dog. We're going to hold our downward dog for 5 slow breaths, okay? Now, absolutely fine to have your knees bent, yogis. Absolutely fine. So if your knees need to stay bent, that's great. I want you to focus on raising your hips, perhaps just checking that your arms are strong and you spread the weight. Keep your ears in alignment if you can with your inner elbows, and let's go. So we're going to inhale, pad one heel down. Exhale, pad the other down. Breathing in, breathing out. So I'm walking the dog, easing the heels back towards the floor, easing them back and down gently if you can. Lovely inversion, quite strong. Head is lower than our hearts here, so how long you stay is entirely up to you. I would suggest, if you can and it's comfortable, 3 more deep breaths. However, stay a little less if you wish to. And really enjoying that stretch as best you can. Keep those knees bent if you need to. One more full breath in and out. Down we come. There we go. Now, it's quite nice after an inversion like that, being quite strong, to take a pause. So grab your block again or your cushion and rest the forehead there. Bring the arms back, drop the shoulders, and perhaps just separate the knees and take 5 slow breaths here. Arms around the sides of the body in Balasana Pose of the child. And again, we're activating the spine if we think about it. We've made this lovely dome-like shape with our spines, yogis. So a wonderful, wonderful way again to soften and release the back muscles. Keep your breath nice and relaxed and even through your nostrils as best you can. And slowly, slowly come up. And just take a pause there. Well done. Well, put your block to the side, yogis. And what we'll do now is we'll go back into our spines. We're coming onto the front of our body now. So, let's come on to the front of our bodies. We're still working our spines, by the way, but we're working the front of the body equally now. So I thought it would be quite nice to try the Locus pose, Salimbasan. And this again strengthens the spine. Not only does it strengthen the spine, but it aligns the spine and pelvis, and again can loosen up tension that you may be holding in your neck, your hips, your chest, and your spine, okay? So all we're going to do is lower the belly and the chin to the floor. Can you see, yogis? My chin is square to the mat. I bring my arms back alongside my body and I open the fingers wide. I want you to try the version that I'm going to teach you, whereupon you push the thumbs into the mat, but open the opposite fingers, okay? So I push my thumbs into the mat alongside my thighs, but the other fingers are open and wide. And the reason I want you to do that is it helps to get a little bit of extra leverage. So very slowly, I'm going to inhale, raise my chest, roll my shoulders back, imagining that I've got a sort of small orange between the shoulder blades. I'm trying to squeeze them together, and that gives me the lift of my chest, chin, head, looking forwards. And then I'm going to raise the legs and then raise the arms. So now the fingers are off the floor, including the thumbs. And I look along the floor and hold for 4 breaths. It doesn't matter if you don't come up for very long. Try and stay for 4 breaths if you can comfortably. And then lower down and we repeat that 3 more times. Squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. That engages the inner thighs. And then down we come. And we rest. And we're going to do that twice more, okay? So hopefully you can see me there. Yeah, no, back of the chair there. So breathing in, up I come. Again, try and straighten the legs, looking forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Aim to squeeze the inner thighs, engage them as well. Hold and breathe. Wonderfully strengthening Locus pose. 1 more full breath, down we come. And again, we just pause, maybe resting the forehead on the floor. Take a nice deep breath in. And then we're going to try once more, okay? So if you've got the energy in you, let's do that once more. Here we go. Inhale, come up. Squeeze the shoulder blades, raise the arms, legs together, breathe and hold, look forwards. Good, one more deep breath in, exhale down. And then yogis, just pushing up again, back onto all fours. Now don't worry if that was quite hard, because we don't do a lot of back bends. We're going to start doing a lot more in this section, and a great way again to take care of your back. Now I'm going to go into one-legged king pigeon pose. So I'm now going to come back onto all fours, slide my left foot forwards, my left knee forwards, and slide that right leg back all the way. And I'm going to make sure I tuck the toe of the right foot under. I'm going to bring my fingers in alignment with my front left knee. I've got these tripod fingers, and I'm going to lift my chest, look forwards, and again, imagine I was squeezing the shoulder blades together, rather, squeezing an orange between the shoulder blades, looking forwards. Some people like to look up and gently back. That creates, again, this nice arch in the spine. But if that's too strong, just looking forwards. And again, aiming to keep those hips level. Breathe and hold. And this is a strong pose, so go gently. It's quite nice to have a pillow underneath the right hip to just soften into. So you can always place a cushion underneath the right hip if you prefer. Holding, breathing. Rolling the shoulders back, lifting the chest like a proud puffy pigeon. And then slowly, slowly, hands go flat. And I just slide that back leg forwards, back onto all fours, and I switch sides. So now right knee goes forwards, left leg slides back. I press the fingertips into the ground alongside the right knee, tucking the toes under the left foot. Inhale, and my tailbone, this part is reaching down, tailbone reaching down, raising the chest, proud puffy pigeon. Gazing ahead, breathing into the chest. Left hip is open now. Some nice deep breaths into the left side. Hold and breathe. Good. One or two more deep breaths, yogis, if you're able to hold it. And then slowly, slowly, return to the hands and the knees. And let's stretch those legs out. Good work, okay. Well done. Lots of lovely work for our hips and pelvis today, because we do hold tension there. Now, you can either sit on a block or you can sit on your mat. What I do want you to do is just lift the fleshy parts of the buttock, the sit bones, so you're very much sitting on them and sitting tall. Go and take the cake tins out if you want. And I'm going to hug and draw the right knee in. Okay, so I've drawn my right knee into the chest, and I take my left hand forwards and wrap it around the outside of the right knee. So it's the opposite hand comes forwards, wraps around the right knee. Okay, so I'm going to take my right hand behind me, make a tripod with the fingers again, and then start to turn and twist to the right. Thanks. Hold for 5 deep breaths. Flexing the toes of the left foot. Really nice, gentle twist here, but taking care that your neck feels comfortable. Looking over your right shoulder. Hold and breathe. And then I'm going to breathe in, exhale and return back, and then release. Then we're going to do the other side. So bending left leg now, bringing that knee nice and close. And bringing the right arm forwards, wrapping it around the left knee, and taking my left hand behind me, twisting now to my left. All I've done, yogis, is switch sides. Left leg is drawn in, hugging and wrapping the right arm round, twisting to my left. Hold for 3 deep breaths if you can. Let's breathe in together. Exhale and turning back. Well done. And release the leg carefully. And just sit back for a moment, shake the legs out. Well done. So always nice to put a little twist in the practice. Twists, again, a great way to release tension that you may be holding in the spine. And you may find the spine feels warmer as we send a fresh supply of energy there. Well, we're going to carry on doing one more back bend, and then we actually come up and do a few lunges to open up those hips again, and a nice stretch for the sides of the body as well, okay? So let's go into the bridge pose now, and we're going to lie down on our backs again and carefully separate the feet, hip width apart, knees and feet hip width apart, and very gently tucking the chin in, palms flat, and making sure that chin is tucked in gently. I'm going to inhale and start to raise my hips towards the ceiling, okay? So I'm going to press the palms down, raise the hips up nice and slowly, just as far as you can. Try and keep the knees and feet hip width apart, yogis. Palms pressing into the floor gently as you raise your hips towards the ceiling. Really important that you don't move your head and neck here. Stretching up gently. Lovely, lovely stretch. Take great care just to come up as high as you can. And then to just release the shoulders. It's nice to clasp the hands underneath the buttocks, leaving the hands on the floor, forming a hatchet with the hands and pulling them gently down towards the heels. And just really enjoying that whole spinal opening. Legs are strong, not moving the knees. And see if you can enjoy holding that for 1, 2, or even up to 3 more deep breaths if you can. Breathe deep. Now when you're ready, release the hands and slowly, slowly start to lower down. 1 vertebra at a time. All the way down nice and slowly. And then gently hug your knees in and just rock and massage your tailbone again. Take some nice deep breaths here. That's a strong back bend, yogis. So just taking 2 or 3 resting breaths, nurturing the low back, rocking gently just to release the spinal muscles. And when you're ready, just rolling onto one side carefully, coming up, and we're going to now do a nice set of exercises, just another 4 before we come down, which again help to loosen the hips, okay? So the first one is a low lunge. And I would recommend making sure you've either got a couple of mats or even padding up underneath the knees with an extra towel if you need to. And then gently just taking your right foot forwards and resting your hands on your right thigh, okay? And looking forwards, here we are in the low lunge. And we just aim to take 4 slow breaths. Rolling the shoulders back, gazing ahead as if you were looking towards that imaginary horizon. Feeling the hips opening, making sure that this knee doesn't come over the ankle, yogis. Keeping the knee and the ankle in a good, strong, straight line. And then gently coming down, and we switch sides. So my left foot forwards now, hands resting on the left thigh. And I can lunge nice and deeply again, feeling the stretch here in my hip flexors and making sure this knee doesn't come over the ankle. Gazing ahead, holding for 4 deep breaths. Great work, yogis. Okay, come back onto all fours, and we're now going to do a lunge. And I'm just going to move the camera slightly. And I go back into the lunge on the right side. So I come down, kneeling on my left knee, my right leg is in front, hands to the hips, use the tummy muscles if you can, and gently start to stand up. So the back leg, your left leg is straight, and you come into a high lunge. And you can see my right knee is bent. And we take our hands to our hips, we gaze forwards, drop the shoulders, and breathe here if we can for 3 deep breaths. Okay, holding. Relax the hands if you want to, and sink your tailbone, this part, the tailbone, down towards the floor. Relax, look forwards, feel the energy and the weight here, opening into the hips, giving you lots of lovely energy. Nice deep breathing. And then coming up, back to Shavasana, and we switch sides. So left foot forwards now, right foot behind. I've gone into the lunge on the other side. My right leg is straight, come up onto the ball of the back foot, and lunging with my left leg in front, making sure my left knee doesn't come over my left ankle. That's so important. Hands to the hips, gazing ahead. And again, noticing how this opens the hip flexors here and really strengthens and energizes this hip. Why not just, if you can, relax the hands and sink a little further down this tailbone wants to come. Looking forwards, and again, if you get wobbly, hands to the hips to steady you. Hold and breathe, yogis, for 2 more breaths if you can. If you feel you've gone too low, just come up a little higher. Don't go too deep into the high lunge. So be mindful of what sensations you're experiencing in the hip. And then coming up and rotating the feet forwards, so we are now standing forwards, wide-legged forward. Let me just move the camera a little bit so you can see me. There we go. Okay, yogis, so we're in a wide-legged forward bend, toes and ankles facing forwards. And we're going to just enjoy a side stretch. So let's turn our right foot out 90 degrees and bend the right knee and rest the right hand, or the forearm rather, on the right thigh with the palm facing uppermost. And carefully you're going to raise your left arm and pin it towards your ear. Rotate the chest and gaze towards the ceiling. Just activating a stretch here in those side ribs. Think about your ribs like a basket, really protecting the internal organs. Looking up, breathe and hold. If you don't like looking up, you can simply look forwards. Try to keep the top body, the torso, Open, breathe. Breathe into that lovely stretch. And come up slowly on the next inhale and exhale. Lovely work. Let's pick the feet up. Switching sides now, so it's the left foot that's pointing out. I'm going to bend this left knee, raise and rest my left forearm there, palm facing the ceiling. And I inhale and sweep my right arm up now, pin it towards the ear. Trying to keep this chest open, so rotating the torso and ribs skywards, looking up. Hold for 4 deep breaths. Breathing in and release. Great work, yogis. We're going to release the hands down and just carefully zigzag jump or walk the legs together. And very gently, we'll come down and finish our work before we relax with a nice supine twist. So a nice twist on the floor. And this is going to be our last pose. So I'm going to bend my knees, feet on the floor, knees together, and just resting the head, chin tucked in, arms by the sides, and then I'm going to inhale and just lower both of my knees down to the right. I'm going to take the arms on the floor to shoulder height and turn to look towards my left hand. So my knees go to the right, head and neck to the left. Hold for 4 breaths, yogis, if you can. Lovely way to finish, just with a nice supine twist. Aiming to keep either the ankles or the knees fairly close to one another if you can. Knees go one way to the right, head and neck gently turning to the left, gazing towards the left outstretched arm. And just again, taking the awareness to your ribs, breathing gently in and out, creating space in those ribs. Then I'm going to inhale, bring my head back to the center, draw my knees up, and then so that you can see again, let me show you this on the opposite side. So my knees now down to the opposite side, okay, going down to the left, arms at shoulder height along the floor, and I turn my head this time to my right. So knees go to the left, head and neck very gently, if it's comfortable, turning to gaze towards the right arm. And again, enjoying the stretch here for the ribs, opening up the intercostal muscles between the ribs. Enjoy 4 breaths, yogis. Just aiming to keep the knees or the ankles stacked on top of one another as best you can. Breathing, just breathing into that lovely exposed part of the chest, the ribs on the right side, opening and stretching as you breathe. And then when you're ready, yogis, let's bring the head back to the center, carefully bringing the knees back to the center, and then hugging the knees in, giving yourself a little squeeze and hug here, rocking gently to soothe and relax the low back. Well done, yogis. We've got a couple of minutes left, so I wanted to leave plenty of time to go into a nice relaxation. So just firstly, rocking gently from side to side, drawing the knees in and just taking 3 or 4 deep breaths here. Soothing, calming, and restorative for the knees, but equally softening that low back after the twist. Okay, yogis. Well, let's just finish with just one more abdominal exercise while we're here. And this time, if you can, take the legs wide apart, flex the toes towards you, and bring the hands so that the palms are facing down in between the legs. And we're going to lift the head and neck and pulse through the legs, pulsing. That's it. It's our last little exercise for abdominals. Just little mini pulses, as if you're trying to push a letter. I always think through the post box. Post the letter, post the letter. Flex the toes, legs are wide. And just little pulses. This helps to strengthen the back of the neck as well. Little pulses, pulse, pulse. That's it. Nice deep breathing. You've earned the rest after this, yogis. And then hugging the knees in. Head goes down and rocking again. Well done. Now we've got a few extra minutes, yogis, to go into relaxation. We didn't start till 1:05. So this gives us time now to grab perhaps a pillow or a blanket if we wish to. Pillow is fine. If you want to, underneath the head, and we're going to go into 3 or 4 minutes of relaxation, ending at 5:05, so we get our full hour. So I'm going to use my block, but again, if you've got a cushion, you could grab that. And just making sure that you're comfortable now in Shavasana. So perhaps the legs are wide. Just lift the head. Make sure your body's in a relatively straight line for relaxation, yogis. Let the heels fall out. Chin tucked in, and again, making sure if you've got a pillow underneath your head that's comfortable. The chin tucked in, so your head and neck are in a lovely long line with the spine. Arms away from the body, not touching the body, with the palms facing the ceiling. And then we can close the eyes and perhaps close the mouth if that's comfortable, breathing through the nostrils. And this allows the whole body to rest and relax completely. Completely relaxing and resting on the earth. Whole body resting. Just allowing the whole body these few minutes to completely relax. Allowing your breath to have the time and space to return to normal. And with our eyes closed, we can take the mind on a little journey through the body to observe how we now feel physically. So just checking in with how you now feel. Checking in with any sensations, any thoughts, any feelings. Really just observing how you now feel. And our whole body quiet and still. Quiet, still body. Allow yourself simply to dwell in that stillness. Dwelling in the silence and the stillness for a few more minutes. Do rest well, yogis. Allow the breath just to breathe itself as you rest. Continue to reap the benefits of your practice. And our practice today was about taking care of your spine and also working your core abdominals. So taking care of your back and working the core. And just observe how your back
and your abdominals now feel, but also enjoying the energy that you've sent to all the other limbs, feeling the benefits of the whole body flooding with energy now. Well, yogis, we're now going to just start to think about moving once more our fingers and our toes. Just slowly, gently giving them a little stretch and a wiggle into your fingers, into your toes, stretching and opening them gently. And then making some small little rotations with your wrists and your ankles. Just as you do this, as you make these small circles, just noticing any sensations in the wrists and ankles now, having flooded these areas with energy and breath. Just notice if they feel softer, looser, more open. And then bring the legs together and stretch the arms overhead. Ooh, stretching. Ooh, that's it. Enjoy stretching the arms and the legs. Have a lovely stretch into the arms and legs, lengthening and stretching the whole body. Take a couple of deep breaths into the whole body stretching. Again, just noticing how you now feel. And then let's hug those knees into the chest and rock again gently, just to soothe and release any unspent tension in the tailbone. We've taken good care of our backs today. So as we roll gently onto one side, now come up. Just again, notice if your back feels a little looser. And we'll come to a cross-legged position, sitting on a block or a cushion if you wish to. There we are, coming up to sitting. And we'll just close the practice together as a group. Take a deep breath in when you're ready. Raise the arms. Bring them down to the heart space. Take a moment to wish yourself, your body and your breath well. And also include the spine. May your spine lovingly, lovingly support you every day. Om Shanti Peace.